Race number 5 is a Class 2 contest. This is over the 1600 metres, and it's the first leg of the triple trio as well, with the jackpots going in. Beauty Joy heads the field with Zach Purton from Barrier 3. He's won 2 of 4 starts so far this season. My Sugar's had a good year as well, winning 3 of 5. Turin Red Sun out of the Derby, where he finished 6th. The Romantic Warrior gets the blinkers on for the first time. Beluga won course and distance 2 starts back. California 10 did exactly the same thing. Soulmate comes up in class, another horse with a good year, 3 from 8. He's won so far. Flying Quest for David Hall. All for St Paul's, who rolls forward in the race with a bit of speed, and Bourbonnaire, who was down the field in his debut behind at Silver Express. But a competition for the lead here, Tom.
Yeah, there is. Soulmate, who's been ridden by Alfie Chan, My Sugar, Jerry Chow, and All for St Paul's, Matthew Poon. So they're all likely to want a piece of the lead here, potentially, Paul.
Yeah, I think My Sugar will be the first to blink and let the other 2 go. I'm sort of hoping that way anyway, because you don't want a speed battle in front with those 3. Beluga and Beauty Joy will get really nice runs in behind. Bourbonnaire shouldn't be too far away, and we know Circuit 3 and Savaquin generally go back.
All right, a couple of key races always to have a look at. Let's start off with Alexi Badello, who'll be riding Turin Red Sun.
Alexi, Turin Red Sun is a horse that's going to bring some 4-year-old series form to the table on Sunday. Obviously not in one of the big races, we've got plenty of that, but this horse, since his Derby run, how's he been?
Well, I tried him once and he seems to be okay. On this occasion he's had the blinkers on, and I sat quietly at the back and I asked him to finish, and he responded well on the line with a bit of pressure. And
just with the blinkers, the angle of the blinkers, do you feel they've sort of brought him on, or at least certainly aided him in his trial and track work so far?
Well, I would describe the horse as he's a bit, I wouldn't say laid back, but he tends to relax a little bit too much on the Derby. So I don't know if it was whatever the fact I was behind into the race, or just because it was just a little bit flat on that occasion. But I would, I'd like to think that the blinkers will help me to travel.
And I know you didn't ride him, but eagle-eyed viewers would have seen some track work with Russian Emperor. He went toe-to-toe with Russian Emperor and went probably just as well as him. What did you make of that track work?
Well, I guess they just, part of the routine, so it's not a pushed exercise, but it's always good when you have good horses can work together, and it's always a good sign, of course.
And just on the distance, Alexi is coming back in trip by a couple of furlongs. Do you feel a mile's possibly his best distance, this horse?
We'll find out. Honestly, based on his form, it suggests that the blinkers and the mile will be suitable for him. It's a first run after the Derby. His trainer has freshed him up a little bit, so I guess he's ready to run a very good race. I believe we haven't seen the best of him yet, so many question marks still.
He was an excellent second in the Classic Cup behind California Spangler, only beaten a length there. Blinkers on for the first time. Mithras was his name when he raced in the UK for the Gosdens. We'll keep looking, though, for other challenges. Tom, starting off with My Sugar and Circuit 3 here.
Yeah, he led, and look, he fought really hard when he was challenged in the straight. He was clearly headed to at the 200 metres. You can go onto the Jockey Club website and look at those little photos that get sort of put up there on their positions, and he was headed at the 200 metres here, Paul. So it was a gritty performance from him.
Yeah, really good run, I thought of this. And the horse was coming up to 1600 for the second time, and he ran really well. And I just really like the way he lifted himself off the canvas. He doesn't get himself into a speed battle. I think he can win this race.
OK, interesting. What about Savaquin then, Paul? Spends most of his time at Happy Valley, but now here at Sha Tin. He's behind Charity Go, Cheerful Days, a couple of starts back, and Beauty Joy. He's been bumping in some nice horses.
No, he definitely has. And look, he's a horse that does want the speed on. He's the opposite, Savaquin. The faster the better for him. He's won over the course and distance before, and look, he's running okay at the moment. It's not a bad run from him here.
He's recaptured a little bit of form. I guess he's never really been out of it, but it's been a wee while since he's been able to win a race. He sort of sat second last defence and tried hard when he got into the clear. And this is Beauty Joy. Thomas said he had a win over Savaquin earlier in this season, but he's now first up since February. Yeah, scratch back on the 27th of March with a swollen left fore. He's had 2 trial wins. This one here was over Romantic Warrior, of course, Duke Wine, that trial as well, and he's won on the all-weather. Blaze Warrior there, Panfield, Waikuku, Charity Grace, they're all there, and he just got into awkward sort of positioning, Paul, at Happy Valley last start, wanted to get the head up, wanted to do a few things wrong at the start, so he was in a bit of a mood last start.
He was, wasn't he? Look, I think he's one of the main dangers on the back of his trial. So as long as he doesn't perform on race day or doesn't perform pre-race, then I think he's one of the leading chances.
All right, that's how punters see it at the moment, Paul, as well, because he is our early favourite.
He is. I'm going to go with My Sugar, though. I just thought this horse is a real fighter, and I think he could, as long as he doesn't get into the speed battle, I think he can win. Beauty Joy, the hardest to beat. Bourbon Air, look, he was disappointing on debut here, but he would have learned a lot. He drew 12. And he comes in here with barrier number 2. I think he's going to get a nice, easier run, and especially with that run under his belt as well. And circa 3, get back and run on. So 2, 1, 11 and 7.
1, 11, 5 and 2. Going to stick with Beauty Joy here. Things went against him last start. He's trialled well since. He's on top ahead of Bourbon Air at any old price. Didn't handle the turn overly well last start, but he looks to have improved. I think he's come up with a good draw. I think he'll be able to be a bit closer here in a small field with a lightweight. Beluga, he's coming into this with a freshen up. 2 trials at Chungfar and My Sugar, the other one. 1, 11, 5 and 2.
I think I had Bourbon Air in second place on debut, but once bitten, twice shy for me. I'll watch him go around this time. I think Turin Red Sun, blinkers on, out of the Derby, back in a handicap, the one to beat here. 4 and 1. My cue there in race number 5, a Class 2 over the 1600.